listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV Network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Dean Johnson.
The AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California. Presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is AFTERBUZZ TV's Doctor Who After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. If you'd like to buzz in on tonight's show, you can buzz us at 424-256-1729. That's 424-256-1729. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AFTERBUZZ TV's Doctor Who After Show.
Aww. This makes me so happy. And I'd like to point out that we're all still dancing. Can you really dance to the Doctor Who theme?
Oh, yeah, you can dance to Doctor Who.
Slow
all right.
jam. Slow Doctor Who jam.
Yeah, this defines slow jam.
It kind of does.
It's tight muscle control. As you can see, Roth is really just, she's got a groove
I'm not
going.
helping, guys. Don't not helping.
Or just a pop
All right.
like that.
Okay, guys, Bing is for doing, and we are here doing another Doctor Who wrap-up show, Season 7, Episode 5, The Angels Take Manhattan. Oh, that's creepy. That's totally creepy. All right.
That was creepy.
Especially
but
after
not
the
as
angels.
creepy as Baby Angels.
Nothing is as creepy as Baby Angels. I'd just like to point out before we begin that my puffy eyes are due to the fact that I watched this show twice, cried, marathon Homeland, and read The Hunger Games for the first time. I did not sleep.
How much did
See
you
that?
like The Hunger Games?
Oh my God, loved.
That's
loved.
a whole discussion later.
Yes,
you guys.
later.
Tune
Okay,
in
but-
on Twitter. We'll live tweet our discussion later.
And now you've all heard that I have a problem with baby dolls. I don't like them in general. I don't like talking babies, don't like baby dolls.
Yes.
Don't like baby angels. But before we begin. Yeah, you're going to have to sit over there if you keep doing that. Okay, before we begin, guys, make sure you go to iTunes and subscribe, rate us nicely, please, and leave us comments. As you know, we do read all of them, and we comment back. We really, really love you guys, and it means a lot when you do that for us. Let's introduce ourselves. I'm Jenna Busch.
I am Roth Cornet.
I am Matt Lieberman.
Very special guest.
I'm Katlin Mastrandrea.
Yay!
Thanks for being here, Caitlin. Huge Doctor Who fan, yes?
Yes, I am a Whovian.
So,
Sweet.
what was this everything you wanted and more for the exit of the Puns?
Yeah, I mean, preferably not dying, but of course you get death along with it, but it was nice. It was a nice kind of farewell thing. I know we've been warned for a few months already, just going on Doctor Who going, no, please don't. Please let it just be a stupid rumor.
Yeah.
It's so sad.
Yeah.
How about you, Matt? Were you satisfied?
I was satisfied. I was shaking. I was quaking. I yelled at my TV multiple times, like I was doing that like person in a horror movie, like get out of there! What are you doing? No! Come on!
And it was literally like, get out of the basement.
Yeah. Why are you down there?
Never go into a
never
basement.
go into the basement,
That's dark.
Rory.
No, you don't
Ever.
go in the basement, and you find.
However, in his defense,
Yeah, he
that
didn't
was
really
some
go.
sick mafia business where they were
Oh,
like,
yeah.
here's a box of matches. Well, why are you giving me the box of matches? It's funnier that way.
Yeah. Screwed up.
Yeah, that is
Oh
some
my
dark
God.
business,
Yeah.
Moffat.
Can I just say, I mean, over the past few weeks, people have tweeted at us, have talked about potentially the Statue of Liberty being an angel.
Yes,
and
there
I
we
was,
go.
And I was expecting it to happen. I didn't think that he would pull it in the first 2 minutes of the episode,
Yeah.
and it was so awesome.
Yeah, it
was
really
so
was.
awesome.
I love this response because I think that could have been a colossal fail. I mean, I really think it could have been like, it's the Statue of Liberty. But it worked so gorgeously when he
Yeah.
turned around and it was just like,
Oh my
give
God.
me your sick and you're tired and you're everyone. And I will send them back in time.
And your time energy.
And give me all of your time energy.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I don't know why they're like mustache twisting villains.
Well, no,
at this
they
point.
have to be. They have to be.
Yeah.
All right, so I'd just like to point out that I'm going to New York in a couple of weeks for New York Comic Con.
Beware of the angels.
And I don't think I'm going to be able to go to Central Park. I don't think I'm going to be able to hit Bow Bridge,
Yeah.
which is where everything happened. I don't think I'll be able to hit Bethesda Fountain.
I honestly think you should do all of the above and just just create an online, like a little video montage of you weeping.
Yeah.
Oh God,
That'd be so
oh
funny.
God, it might happen.
To the Doctor Who music.
Yeah.
No.
I can see it. I
upsetting.
can see it in my head.
So
All right,
upsetting.
so I want to let's talk about the episode, obviously, but let's just talk about the angels constructing a building.
Snack.
okay.
Okay, creating the snack building and then taking over every single statue in Manhattan.
Winter Key?
Yes.
Yes, Winter Key. Well, okay, first of all, it was never said that they built the building. They did infest the building.
No, it
Like
said
cockroaches.
hey, tweet folks, because I swear River said they built, like, they constructed it
Okay.
as like a battery,
Yeah.
basically.
Okay.
A time energy battery.
turned it into a
and so, like, the idea is that they send people back in time and then force them to live in these rooms and suck their time energy.
Very kind of a first Matrix.
So exactly, I was just gonna say, just
Yeah.
like the
Totally.
Matrix, like
Yeah.
the human time energy battery, and they have to live out their life in this room. So I have a few questions about that. Okay. Who's providing the food to that? Like, are the angels going out to the deli
Yeah.
and picking up a sandwich every day?
Right. Well, they just keep showing up behind the deli guy.
Yeah.
Every time he turns around, they get closer. They steal his sandwiches and then they run.
Yeah, exactly.
It's fine.
It's a perfect system.
I know, and I want to say that I loved, like you guys, I did love the episode, and like Matt Smith said, you'd have to be an alien or a Dalek, more specifically, not to have gotten choked up by this.
Yeah.
But
Oh, yeah.
I mean, there were some things that I was like, wait a minute,
One
where are they
thing-
getting food?
One thing first, I just want to address the Father Wizard tweeted at us. So do you think the angels are entities that just inhabit statues?
Right.
That'd explain Lady Liberty.
Right, right. Well, I mean, that's basically, is that not what the episode,
I think
that's
so,
what's
yeah.
intimated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what the doctor said. He was saying that they've spread all over
Right.
all over the city. They've grabbed all these statues. They turned
Right.
into them. Yeah, absolutely.
Which is new and interesting, and it's also interesting when the angels decide to snap a neck, and when they decide. I mean, obviously in this case, I mean they explain it away with that line. Oh, they're feeding off the time energy.
Yeah.
In this particular case, but that was just something too that's for sure.
Well, I think different groups of angels have different strategies for different reasons. I think the only reason why those angels were snapping necks in the 5th season
Yes.
is because they were getting all the energy they needed from the leaking
from the hole.
Right.
In the,
Yeah,
well,
there was
yeah,
no
or from
reason.
the leaking core. Yeah.
the leaking core of the ship.
Right.
So they were just trying to escape. They'd been trapped there forever. They weren't going to let anything
Stop
prevent them from leaving.
Right.
Versus in New York, they were in control.
Right.
Right.
Like you've got a pasture of cows. Do you continue to milk them, or do you slaughter them for food when there might be no more cows?
Right. When you're not getting any food if they die.
Right.
So you want to keep milking the people.
Ew. So disgusting.
Okay,
I
fine.
know that was my very own fault, but
Yes,
still,
that is
I'm
all
kind of-
on you, Jenna.
totally
That is all.
is.
You set that up,
And I'm a little
You
horrified
set
with
that up.
myself. I should hang my head in shame.
Yeah, I do want to talk about if we're talking about sort of like little inconsistencies.
Little
Right.
niggly,
Yeah.
twiddly danglers.
Yeah.
That was your fault. I had nothing to do with
It
that.
was
I want to talk about angel mechanics.
Yes.
In terms of snatching people up and whether or not they exist in a corporeal form.
Yeah,
Right.
I think we do need to talk about that.
Okay, so when River is taken into the mob boss's headquarters,
And he's got her wrist.
yeah, the angel has grabbed her.
Yeah.
Grabbed her and did not send her back in time.
Exactly.
Right.
Did not send her back in time. Light switch comes on, it's a statue again.
Yeah.
Right. At the end of the episode, when poor Rory is zapped back in time, we see the angel before he has disappeared.
Right.
Right.
People were looking at the angel.
Exactly. Yeah.
Amy saw the angel. So how did that happen?
How did that happen?
Right.
And that's the other thing is that even when Amy turns around, so she's not looking anymore. Well, the Doctor and River are still seeing the angel.
Exactly.
Yeah.
More to the point, there were many discussions that happened that were like, "You're the Statue of Liberty angel. Let's have," and I love
know.
this moment, but let's have a deeply romantic, sort of long drawn out
Exactly.
discussion
I know.
about paradoxes. No one's got their eye
Yeah.
on the prize.
There's,
Yeah.
I mean, there's like she's facing the angel, and then he sort of switches on the balcony,
but
and he's
then-
looking. But then, then they're looking at each other,
Well,
and no one.
Okay, but how about this? We don't see anybody, But
Could
someone in the building across the street was probably looking at it and be like, why is the Statue of Liberty on my street?
On my street?
Well, no, that's when they did walk in, there was all those creepy neighbors like sitting there going like that.
That's
so
true.
it could be,
That's true. No, that is true. It is New York City. There are a lot of people.
Right, but then that begs the other point. It is the city that never sleeps, and there are 8 million people in New York City. How do they ever not have someone looking at them basically to run around and get the sandwiches for the people in the Battery?
And also, wouldn't those people get tired of sandwiches?
They get tired
after 20 years. Even I might get tired of pastrami sandwiches.
It suddenly became sort of like, oh my goodness, what's wrong with me? The Old Boy. It suddenly became very Old Boy for a moment, where it's like, man, Rory's been locked up by himself, he'd be insane at this point.
If anyone hasn't seen the movie Old Boy, you should definitely check it out. It's on Netflix. In it, a man is locked inside of a room with no windows for 15 years.
Yeah, and he's clear. He's obviously insane at the end of it.
Oh yeah, and then he escapes and he gets revenge.
And it's being remade by Spike Lee right now.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, so so that was kind of an interesting point, and then there did seem to be like a little loosey-goosey, like how time, like you've already seen this happen, Rory, but at the same time, like if Rory was there, then the old Rory would have already seen Amy come in and this would have been solved, so there would never have been an old Rory.
Okay, we can't go to... I saw Looper last night.
By the way, I love Looper.
Yeah,
I haven't seen it yet. Do not spoil anything.
We're gonna be here. We're gonna be sitting here all day with straws if we get into it. We're gonna be sitting here all day. So basically, in the film, Bruce Willis very brilliantly, Rian Johnson, the writer-director, says very clearly to the audience, we're not getting into time travel. And Bruce Willis says it. We'll be sitting here all day with straws.
Basically, my point is the rules are different. So I think those would be Looper rules, but not Doctor Who rules.
Not Doctor Who.
Right. Well, I mean, I would say in any time travel show, like there's really never going to be something you can't pick apart. So there's no reason to.
And again, just for all the fans out there that are listening that are getting nervous, we love the episode. We're about to kiss it. We're about to make out with it.
May I make out with it first?
We're gonna make some love to it. But I do have one more question first, okay? For Who fans, and you can. This is a legitimate question. This is a legitimate question. Okay. So Doctor Who cannot go back to the time period in the 30s because there's all these time inconsistencies, and it'll explode New York if there's another paradox.
Yes.
A, how do we know that that's where they got sent back? B, if he can't go to that specific time period, why can't he go to 10 years later?
Okay.
Right. And they could leave the city. Just saying.
Yeah.
Walk out of the city.
Can I? May I?
Yes. I beg of you.
Okay. One.
Okay.
If they were buried in New York, that means they were living in New York.
You just said buried.
You did.
You did.
I'm from New Jersey, okay?
Oh, are you? I'm from New York. Go ahead.
Okay.
New York.
Yeah. They were buried. Buried? They were buried in New York, which means that most likely they lived in New York. Second, he said, you're creating fixed time, Amy. You're creating fixed time. That means I cannot ever see you again.
But fixed time is a fixed point in time.
We've talked about fixed points in time, but their entire lifespan
is now fixed.
It is fixed time that cannot be
like
changed.
A new rule.
But he could have gone to visit them in Arizona.
In this episode,
could have visited them in Arizona. That actually bothered me because. I mean, maybe they couldn't travel with him anymore, but he could have gone back. If she was writing a postscript anyway...
He couldn't go back.
She could
it is
say,
fixed time.
Come visit us in 1942 in Arizona.
How is River getting to her?
River sent the manuscript back before they arrived.
Okay.
Yes. River sent the manuscript back before they arrived. He cannot see them again, but as long as...
How did she know where they were and where to send it?
How did Doc Brown know? We could do this all day. I say we tweet Shane Carruth, who made the amazing time travel movie Primer, who's also a consultant on Looper.
I know this. Believe me, I just interviewed Rian Johnson. Okay. We made out with each other about time travel.
Guys, we have to talk about this episode.
We really do.
We do. Okay, here's something. The little bracelet that Riversong had. That got her the bracelet.
Oh, the vortex manipulator. Yeah. She's used that before.
I know, but like,
but why can she not use the vortex manipulator?
Because it's fixed time.
Okay.
They can't affect it. It can no longer be changed.
You guys feel free to tweet us on this one.
Ultimately, Jenna and I are going to have to submit to the will of Doctor Who and its writers. But
and this guy, 5'8.5" inches of pure
stubborn
stubbornness. Yes,
pure stubborn.
It is fixed time.
I will say this. I will let it go because I really did enjoy and love the episode,
Yes.
and I'm looking forward to seeing where everything goes in the future. But I just wanted to get that out of the way in case anybody else out there was going, I love this, I adore this, I want to have its babies as long as they're not angel babies.
No babies. Don't
But
talk about babies.
I do have one or
Creepy.
two questions.
Now that we've gotten all of that out of the way,
Good.
I'm gonna make out with you.
how awesome was that
It
episode?
was so good. It was ridiculous.
It was brilliant. I know last week we were talking all about whether or not it was story-wise the best thing to do to kill off Amy and Rory.
Yeah.
Yes.
And we did more than once.
Yeah.
There were lots and lots.
It became very Joss Whedon Buffy. We're like, how many times can I kill them in one episode?
I love that Rory made reference to the fact that he dies all the time and always lives.
He's like, why can't I?
Yeah.
He's Kenny.
I do want to talk about as long he is Kenny.
He's totally Kenny.
I want to talk about, since we were discussing rules, we got a set of new rules this week.
We did.
Involving books and reading.
Yes.
If you read something about your future, it is fixed. It can no longer be changed.
I don't think this is going to happen for me.
No?
No.
Okay.
I don't think I'm going to read about my future in a book.
But this is.
I also don't think anyone from the future is going to be writing about you in a place that you can see it.
Probably not.
We've always. I mean, River has always cautioned against spoilers.
Exactly. But now we know why.
Yeah.
Because once you read it,
Then you have to do it.
It's the truth. Although, wait a second. As much as I accept that rule now, and I actually really like it.
I know, stubborn.
The Doctor.
Yes.
Knew that he was going to. Well, no, he didn't read it. He knew that he was going to die, but then
Right.
he didn't die. But he did not read it. My bad.
Okay. It opens a kind of interesting philosophical question, though. Ready for this? Because I mean, the idea is basically this whole idea that that's so popular right now, that what you believe is what you manifest for yourself in your life. So I think it's kind of cool and interesting that the show manages to make that sort of a legitimate time space reality or fact, that if you read it, then it has to happen because it's now imprinted in some way in your subconscious and the universal subconscious, so it has to happen. I think that's kind of interesting.
Also, it's not printed, just printed. It's also engraved.
Imprinted and engraved.
And I'd like to point out that Father Wizard said, "Oh my God, they displaced Rory, those bastards."
Those bastards.
Sorry, South Park reference. Yeah, I mean, it is a really
I
interesting.
love
rule.
all of the references this week, you guys.
I know.
I hope that our viewers and listeners also enjoy this.
We're very
And
pop culture this
Geek,
weekend.
The Geek Matt tweeted at us going back to the why wouldn't they leave?
Yes.
The angels would just zap you back in time every time you try to leave the room. So we don't actually.
Wait, so whoa, the Geek Matt and everyone else. So are we now proposing that Amy and Rory lived out the rest of their existence in that room?
No, because the building no longer
Because
exists.
the building
Right,
no
right.
longer exists.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Paradox.
So answer that, Geek Mac. Tweet us again and answer that.
Come on, Geek Matt. I put you on blast last week. Put you on blast last
snap.
week. Now
By the
Roth
way-
Cornet in this corner. Oh, snap.
But by the way, I love you, Matt. You're awesome.
Yeah. All right, guys, I really want to talk about the River and the Doctor.
Yes.
Because this relationship has been sometimes problematic, sometimes incredibly awesome, sometimes really, really confusing. We've talked a zillion times about regeneration, how he's now used regeneration energy on her wrist. Why is that a problem? But I think the relationship between the two of them is really interesting. And I love the fact that these two actors have so much chemistry despite the difference in age. And I love that they addressed it. And what did she say? If I'm going to be in love with an ageless god who insists on having the face of a 12-year-old, we don't show the damage.
Yeah,
and that's a really big deal.
The follow-up was gorgeous too. By the way, lovely work, Stephen Moffat, as always, because he's listening
He
to
really-
me
yeah.
right now.
Of course he is.
But I loved the "you must hurt." Yeah, the wrist isn't so great either.
Yeah.
That
What
was
do you
beautiful.
think about their relationship, the Doctor and River? I feel like it's really developed nicely.
Yeah. And then especially like I noticed like in here they touched on the marriage thing for both Amy, Rory, and the Doctor. So it's like, ow, my heart.
This was the first post-married episode where they both were. They
In the
both
same
knew that
situation.
they were married. It was both for
Yeah.
both of them.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it was very, I mean, I think that this is the first glimpse, because I've always thought about that, where like the Doctor's a very difficult character to really depict in an actual mundane kind of a relationship or in domesticity.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because he doesn't belong there at all, which we saw when he tried to hang out with Amy and Rory.
Didn't work.
So, and she doesn't belong in domesticity either, which is why they're they're two psychopaths together on a TARDIS. But I was really pleased that they at least showed a little bit of the normal everyday stuff that goes on in a relationship with the misunderstandings, and that his intent is so pure to stop her from hurting, but she's mad because she considers that an insult.
Right. And also just the moments where like he's fighting with her in the book, but also his yowza at the book. Like he's reading about this woman, and that was, I think, one of the coolest things, because not only do they have the chemistry, not only is there all of this history, but he even reads about her, and he's like,
likes her.
whoa.
He's
awesome.
like, I'd love to see that go a little further.
I would too.
I would love to see her travel with him for a little bit and to be able to explore this episode. I do understand on the part of the writers why they would resist it, because that can go south so fast.
Yes.
You know?
Especially because you've built it up for so long. It's been, what, 4 years now? Like, since they introduced her in 2008?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's a lot of history.
I think, too, that in an odd way, it's like with a television series, you know, Jumping the Shark is when Ross and Rachel on Friends from a million years ago, they said that was the biggest Jumping the Shark moment when they had them get together.
Moonlighting, back to moonlighting. That was the first big one.
Right, you can go on and on and on. And so they are married, but the truth is that what people love, I think, about the River Song and Doctor relationship is the bittersweet nature of the relationship. And so if you show them, exactly, and every time we see that, we feel the bittersweet edge of that.
Absolutely.
And so if they're like hanging out, you're like, oh, it's what?
Yeah.
Well, it's even more so because, like in the 10th Doctor, it's like, oh, he knows she's gonna die, so it's like, ow, that hurts even more.
Yep,
Why do you give me that?
Totally. Oh, I would like to point out that Matt here sent me something that I can't unread.
Oh, God.
We had mentioned that somebody must have written fan fiction about the Doctor and River Song hooking up.
Because of the wedding of River Song, so someone must have written the wedding night of River Song.
Oh, no.
And Matt found it.
And I found it.
And sent it to me. And I read the whole thing. It's in there forever.
Oh, God. I didn't read the whole thing. I read the
whole
first
thing.
3 sentences. I was like, nope.
I read it.
Big, all caps, nope.
I read it.
Let's not encourage any
You
more of
loved
this.
it.
Let's not
It was
encourage any more of
disturbing.
this.
But there is something about that. The reason I brought it up is not just to torture Matt, but because is that something you really want to see? Do you want to see them hook up?
No.
Do you want to see them kiss
I think you
that
don't.
much?
I think
No,
that
it's
you
weird.
don't. I think that it's like we're saying you need it to be star-crossed lovers all the time. But then ultimately, where does that go? Do you know what I mean? How far can you really go with that? I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean.
What I truly believe is, and we got this in The Doctor's Wife, he may be married to River Song, but the only real love affair he will ever have is with his TARDIS.
Right.
Disturbing, because the TARDIS is also kind of his child.
Nuh-uh. Nuh-uh, he stole it. He stole the TARDIS, and it was
totally steal a
already
baby.
alive. No.
Well, and then, like,
Now you're just picking fights.
and then when the TARDIS was in the woman, she said she stole him.
That's true.
That's true. I mean,
Yeah.
and
we
all
what
love
baby can steal somebody? I ask you.
what baby can steal somebody?
Yeah.
Stewie.
He's a toddler.
I have a problem with talking babies too. I'm sorry.
Stewie Griffin is a toddler.
He's not really, he's not. He's in a diaper.
He's 1
half
year
the
old.
time. He's 1 year old is still a baby. Okay, anyway, let's move on from if Stewie is a toddler or not.
No
2
more
years old is
babies.
a toddler. Anyway.
Actually, let's talk about what's coming up for AfterBuzz TV, because guys, if you guys are watching this, I know you're fans of AfterBuzz. So we have a zillion shows. Well, maybe not literally a zillion.
We
but
are
we've got a
doing
lot.
50 shows a week now.
That's the same as a
50
zillion.
plus.
That's totally the same as a
Yeah.
zillion. Including in a few hours from now, the first Homeland show that
Yes.
Roth and I will be doing together.
Yay! Tune
Another
in.
very different but really, really excellent
Yeah.
Emmy-winning series.
So if you love any show on TV, odds are that we're already doing it, so you should check it out. If you love our show, you'll probably love those shows. And if there's one that we're not doing, you should probably email AfterBuzz and get it on the air, because we'll probably do it.
We'll probably
That's
do.
very likely.
Also, if you guys liked the series Eureka, which I know that you did, Jenna and I reviewed the final season. We had everybody came in. Colin came in twice. Neil came in like 3 times. Neil Grayson and Jamie.
Grant Imahara called
Grant
in.
Imahara. It's awesome. You should watch it. It's lots of fun.
Totally.
yes.
Enough self-promotion.
Oh no! One more thing. We will be doing classic episodes.
Yes. And later, we've decided on the first
We have,
episode.
yes.
The first episode we will be doing with our new classic Doctor Who podcast is The Caves of Androzani, which is a 5th Doctor adventure, Peter Davison. It's available on Netflix streaming. I think it may also be available on Amazon Prime. You should watch it before next week. It's the highest rated, or the highest, like, you know, in terms of audience ratings who like what episodes. It's the highest rated classic episode ever, according to dewhurstdesigns.co.uk. I always
Nice.
pimp them out because I love
Nice.
their website. And we're going to be talking about that next week. Really exciting.
Very exciting. Okay, so I'm gonna submit once again and say that you're right. The doctor's wife proved that it is his wife, and it was a great episode, and I love it. But I also think that he is a very you know, he's sort of a non-sexual entity in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
And I think that ultimately, so for me, any relationship he has inherently kind of a paternal edge to it.
Yeah.
Which makes, I think that's all the more reason why River Song needed to be older than him.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like physically older than him and a kind of dominant force in our own right. Because no matter who he's with, he seems like the goofy brother dad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And-
well, I do want to say something about that too, because I think it's something that I used to review Big Bang Theory, and I'm starting to do it again. But there's a character, Sheldon,
Yep.
who is pretty much asexual. But I think in earlier episodes, when you see him start to do something normal, that's when you're like, oh, he could almost be.
could
And then you pull back.
almost be.
And that's the thing that I think draws you. I think when he hugs Penny, you're like, oh, and it's, oh, no, you're not normal. And I think that's the thing with the Doctor. So,
Yeah.
like, if he was completely asexual, if he was completely just, like, goofy sidekick dad guy, then you wouldn't
Have all these crushes on him.
Yeah.
Right, right. But I think the moments where you see him like fix his hair before he goes to see his wife, or the
So
thing with
cute.
he and Rose, or you
Yeah.
know, just there are certain moments where you're
Well,
like, oh, but it,
Christopher Ecclesian though
Well, yeah.
was
Christopher Eccleston?
Eccleston. I don't know.
Ecclesian.
I gave him a very religious name.
I was gonna say.
I don't know where that came. Christopher Eccleston, Ecclesian, if you
That's
will. Thank you very much. He was the one Doctor of this recent series that I would say was sexual. You know what I mean? And he didn't quite have.
I was about to make a comment.
Well, listen to me. I'm just saying he wasn't quite as goofy and fun and certainly not as Matt Smith.
He
Right.
was hardened from the Time War.
Right. He was
Exactly.
hardened and he was more man-like. And I think, you know,
Yeah.
she made the joke about this is the face of a 12-year-old. Matt Smith is the most young and boyish. By the way, I love all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I have had various crushes on all of
yes,
them.
the
So
comment I was going to make was that I would actually hook up with any
one of them. Exactly. So, but when I say
Jenna,
asexual,
what?
Every week.
I'm single. What do you want?
All right.
Newly single.
but this is
Okay.
what I'm saying about
Matt Smith, New York Comic Con.
He may be a little young for me. I'm not saying no.
Matt
I'm just saying.
Smith. What?
Yeah.
I'm saying, so when you say asexual, I just mean like that he's meant to be a god.
Yeah, totally. No, I think that's the cool thing is that he is asexual, but you still have those moments
Yeah.
where you're like, oh, but if we would just,
Yeah.
that's one of the reasons you
And
love him
I'm
even
sure
more.
there are fans, especially of the Russell T Davies era,
Yeah.
who would argue that the relationship with Rose was romantic. I ultimately think he cared about her very deeply, like as deeply as anyone could care about anybody else. But I do not think it was romantic.
No.
I think there was a little bit of it.
I think there was a Okay, let me ask you.
Yeah.
Which of the first of all, which of the Doctors do you like best? Put
just-
you on the hot seat. Yes.
I would have to say number 10, David Tennant.
David Tennant.
Oh, yeah.
I think that you are in good company with many people.
Yeah. I'm going to go with Matt, but I think I have a tendency to really love whoever is playing the Doctor at the moment.
Yeah.
So, you know.
And well, the Geek Matt tweets, "Hey Jenna, he's going as the 11th Doctor to New York Comic Con."
Good to know. I'm sure you will be the only one, and you'll be very, very easy to spot. If Dragon Con is anything to go by, you'll definitely be the only person dressed as the Doctor.
That is hilarious.
Yeah. Father Wizard also tweets, "All babies can steal someone. They steal your souls."
Oh, God. This is why they creep me out. No offense to anyone with babies.
Yeah.
We're just... Ugh.
All right, so I think we should talk about the angels and those baby angels who were so super creepy with their little cackling laugh.
Yeah.
Don't like it. I don't like it.
I don't love it. I mean, it's really, really creepy, but I
Yeah.
love how creepy it is.
Oh, yeah.
You
Yeah.
know,
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's one of those, I'm like, good on you. Because you didn't think that the angels could be creepy enough.
Yeah.
Take cherubs.
If you guys have been on Tumblr lately and you've seen the zillions of Doctor Who gifs and everything, I don't know if anyone's noticed that people have made angel masks and they're just sticking them on people's windows.
Oh, that's not
God,
nice.
That's mean.
That's
Now,
hilarious.
it might be just a setup, but if anyone comes to my house and puts a damn angel on my window, I'm going to
Hell to the nah.
I'm going to do that.
That was awesome.
I don't actually make threats. I'm just saying it won't go well for you.
I think the reason that they're so creepy is the same reason that Jamie was so creepy. Do you guys remember Jamie?
Yeah, from the first season in Dr. Dance's An Empty Child. Yeah. Are you talking?
Jamie, no. Jamie, is that what
The gas
it was?
mask
The gas
kid.
mask? Was
Yeah.
that what,
The
was that the
Empty
name of
Child.
the
The
empty
Empty
child?
Child.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Wait. What was the whole title?
It's The Empty Child was part 1.
Right.
The Dr. Dance's was
Yes.
part
Yes.
2.
Yes. You're right. I thought you were putting it all together now. I thought he was like the doctor dances the empty child. I was like, that's a very strange dance to do. The doctor dances with the empty child.
Ooh.
Upsetting.
If
Okay,
anyone
so
comes up with a dance called The Empty Child, tweet it at us.
please, I beg of you,
GIF.
video
GIF.
it right now. So yes, the empty child. So Jamie, but the reason is that, I mean, in archetypally, this is always true, is that it's that innocence overcome by kind of, and it's in every horror movie that I've just seen 10 of in the last week.
That's why I don't like clowns.
No one likes clowns.
No, well, that's true.
No one likes clowns.
No.
Yeah.
But I love.
You hear us, clowns? We don't like you.
I loved.
God, don't show
I
up at
loved
my house.
Jamie. Well, with Jamie was a little different because there was still a little bit of that boy in it.
Well, he was like heartbreaking creepy.
He was heartbreaking, creepy. The angels are just like, how many ways can I kill you and destroy you? You know,
sharp
the
teeth.
baby.
And claws and
Oh God. Oh God.
Sliverdiver tweets at us, they're not babies, they're cherubs.
I know that. Well, I said cherubs.
but cherubs are baby angels.
Yeah.
So
He also tweets at us. He says that on Bad Wolf Bay, the doctor told Rose that he loved her.
yeah.
But if you're talking about the 4th season finale, I think we can let that. So I hate that episode. I'm just gonna say it. It was you didn't have to do that. I think their relationship was stronger if you didn't have him say that.
Okay.
That's me.
I just have to point out that Lee Ace on Twitter, who was feeling my pain last night, who is many, many, many hours ahead of us and saw it way earlier and warned me how many tissues I'd need, said that she dreamt of the angels last night and it wasn't pretty and she feels my pain.
God.
It's 2:44 a.m. right now and she's watching us live. So thank you.
Thank you so much.
You rock.
You rock.
Her name is Jean. So
Thank you. That's awesome.
thank you.
That's
and thank
really
you for
nice.
staying up with me last night while I was upset. Seriously, she was tweeting me and I was like, it sucks. It's so sad. Heart squished.
Okay, you guys, let's talk about Amy and Rory.
Okay, I'm totally heartbroken, though I have to say, because we discussed it last week, there was no better way to do it.
Yes.
I don't know if you guys agree with me, but there really was no better way to do it.
100%.
Yeah, you did kill them off. They did end up having a life together. They did get the ordinary life that they'd been talking about in the episode before. So they got everything. Yes, it was heartbreaking for the doctor, but it's even more important that he doesn't travel alone, which is something River says to him at the end.
Right.
Yes.
I thought that was interesting that was brought home once again after the last several times that
Yeah.
it's been brought home.
Well, I think it's because, and we discussed this, I think we've discussed it all season,
Yeah.
that if he lost them, he would spiral into this darkness.
This dark place.
Yeah.
But I don't think now that he will. Do
Well,
you?
no, I don't think that he will because he kept getting that message, and I think it was a point of the writers,
Right.
So that would not be the storyline.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I feel like he was as sad as he was satisfied with that afterward.
Let me ask you guys a question because I don't remember, and forgive me for this, because I believe this was a comment on, and you may have discussed this in the last couple of weeks. I
Yeah.
believe this was a comment on one of our previous episodes that somebody had commented that it was said in the first series that the 11th Doctor was going to turn evil. Did we talk about this?
No.
Yeah, or somebody may have emailed this or tweeted this, but somebody said it was basically said, and I don't know if this is true, it was said somewhere, sometime, that the 11th Doctor was going to turn evil.
Well, then I think that that's something.
I don't
that
know
we're
if
gonna-
that's true at all.
I'm gonna rewatch the first series, and we'll come back to this issue
Okay.
next week.
Good.
Yeah.
I think that's what we'll do.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. So there was also a bunch of tweets and comments about Amy and Rory waving to each other, and was that ever explained?
Oh, right, in Cold Blood and The Hungry Earth. It was never explained. They could have done that between adventures.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
They could have done it between adventures. I think we can stow that one safely
Yeah,
away.
I just wanted to bring it up because people have been tweeting at me all week about it. So
Can I just say one little thing? I love those glasses. the round
Yes.
glasses, and I hope they come back. They add a level of age to him
They do.
that I really love.
Well, we noticed that, and I mean, Stephen Moffat had said that he was going to change how he dresses in sort of the next half of this season, and he was not in his bow tie.
There was no
Yeah.
bow tie.
In the preview.
We only got 3 shots in the preview.
Yeah.
But there was no bow tie.
Yeah, there was an intimidating white man.
Yeah.
There was an intimidating white man. What do you think? Where would you like to see the Doctor go? Where would you like to see?
I mean, I know it's like the Dark Doctor, like, oh, it's like at the same time, like maybe, like we've seen glimpses of how
Yeah.
angry he can be, but at the
Yeah.
same time, it's like, please don't go there.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah.
because it's like, no, don't, you're better.
Where did you read about this idea of the 11th Doctor being the Dark
I've seen,
Doctor?
like,
Where
on
did you read that?
YouTube,
Yeah.
I guess YouTube, all those videos that pop out at me, I'm going, no, please don't, no. Put that away. Do not do that. If you read it, it's final. So don't do that. Take it away from me.
That was good.
Yes.
That was really awesome.
Yes,
that
it
was very
was.
meta.
Oh boy. Now I'm gonna read some tweets and they're gonna be final. So the Geek Matt tweets at us. I guess the Dalek Nano Cloud was he says reverent, but I think he meant relevant. We haven't had that tied up yet. We didn't have Amy turning into a Dalek. That never came back. It could still come back in the second half of the season for the Doctor.
Yeah.
But we honestly don't know. It may just be one of those things that just gets put away.
Well, here's a question for you guys. I know that they have said that both Karen and I believe Arthur said it as well, that they're not going to come back for cameos.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you believe them?
No.
I think they can't. I think they can't. Unless it's some
Oh,
kind of
really? Because Rose was in a parallel universe and she came back.
fixed time. Fixed
Science
time.
Parallel
Fiction.
universe.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna lay this down right now, and people can argue with me, and I know that you will, because
Good.
I can already sense it coming.
Good.
Um,
Let's throw down.
the fourth. Okay.
Yeah.
The 4th season of the new series of Doctor Who would have been far better served if Rose did not return. If Rose did not return, I think that it would have been a lot better. I think that he threw it in there to please the fans, but it ultimately spit on the incredible finale of season 2, where we had our hearts broken
Yep.
when she was ripped away.
I
the fact
agree
that
with
she
that.
could come back cheapens that whole moment, and I honestly believe that that was a misstep.
I totally agree with
Oh,
that.
watch this. I agree.
Yeah. All right. All
right.
right. That's good. We all love
Call
each other.
off the dogs.
Yeah.
Everybody, we agree.
Yeah. Well, I think that's something that we were talking about last week about whether or not, like, if they killed him, it would be better than if they just let them go off and live their happy life together. As we said, both things happened and it was awesome. But yeah, I think it did cheapen that. The moment the New Year's Eve thing, I appreciate it.
I think that it's like with the Game of Thrones, and this is a very different series, obviously, because it's a family show, and Game of Thrones is not.
Yes.
Not.
But the tension is really there in part because you do not know who is going to die, and once they're dead, they're dead. That's it. They're gone.
Yep.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I'm not saying anything.
But for the most part, yes,
Yes.
they're gone, or at least in that form.
Fixed time.
Fixed time.
Fixed.
I agree with you story wise. I don't know that will be what happens.
Okay.
Right. I wouldn't be surprised to see them in some clever little way. Now,
Yes.
I would be surprised if they came back into the story.
Yeah.
But like Rose and the New Year's Eve moment.
Yeah.
Like that sort of thing, that
was
didn't
great.
cheapen it. That, to me, that one thing was lovely.
That was beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The rest of it, I totally agree with you. You maybe could see them in some clever way, but I don't think they're going to come back into the storyline.
I think that you're right, Jenna, though, that he did manage to hit all of the requests from the fan base. You know, we want to see a happy ending. We want to see them die. We want to see him never
we
be
saw
able
them
to see
die
them again.
twice.
See them die
and
twice.
We had that double fake out, which was so heartbreaking. 2 times in a row, I thought, oh my God, they're fine. Everything's okay. Don't read it, Rory. What's wrong with you? Damn it, Rory. But I just want to put BBC America on blast really quickly.
Good. Okay.
Because the commercial break right after they jump to their potential doom completely ruins the gravity of did they survive. And I get, okay, you know, you have the commercial break to wonder what happens, but that like breathless moment when they jump and then it fades to white and then they pop up again, like, that relief. I didn't get that relief when I watched it
Yeah.
with the commercial breaks. I was just like, oh, okay, I guess they're alive.
Because the commercial allowed you to calm down and think clearly. Right
Exactly.
then, you're like,
Yeah.
Right. They can't. Oh, they
Exactly.
can't be. Well, all right.
Yeah. That's
Was there anything else you would have wanted to see, Caitlin? For Rory and Amy. How would you like to see them live out the rest of their life? I'm hoping they're detectives.
that would be interesting. I mean, since she did publish something. Of course, since he said publish, that would make you wonder what they're doing currently. Like, is he a writer? I don't know. But still, I like the way it's like, okay, finally, they're happy. That's all I need. Thank you.
yeah. And it was Amy typing.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
that's, I kind of, yeah.
And we did get I got a tweet earlier. I think we all did. That was about, like, I'm glad it was. I think it was the Geek Matter. It was Geek Matter Father Wizard saying that they're really happy that the Pawns got a happy ending, but boy, is it heartbreaking that we don't get to see it.
Right.
And I'm sure that Rory was still practicing medicine. He knew techniques that even people in the 30s didn't know.
I will say, I think that the most heartbreaking exit that I saw for a companion was Donna.
Yeah.
I
Yes.
really do. I think that the show, although Rose was when it
Yeah.
happened, but then you're right, because in season 4 she came back. It did lessen that heartbreak, but Donna's never regained those memories.
No,
Yeah.
she never will.
And
And
she
she
never-
had finally become the person that she always wanted to be.
Yeah.
And then she just forgot her
And then
how
her
extraordinary
mother's
she
just
was.
like sitting there and he's going, don't you dare allow her. It's like, oh, the grandpa knows writing.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I totally agree. That was incredibly heartbreaking. Now here's just one little thing that I noticed. One little line that I might want to see developed at some point. Doctor Who likes video games.
Yeah.
I like video games too.
He
We'd
doesn't
totally
like
be
video
great
games.
together.
He
loves
loves
video games.
Oh my God! What do you play, Doctor Who?
Well, he definitely plays Wii.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
He
well, that
loves-
is true.
He loves Wii Sports.
Yeah.
Probably
Yeah.
puzzle games. He's probably a Tetris fiend.
Yeah, I don't see him doing first-person shooters.
No.
No guns for him.
No guns for him.
No.
Have you guys ever played? There's an Xbox Live arcade game called Braid, which is like
Yes.
it's like a time travel platformer. You love that.
Totally would. You totally get it. Sorry, I just had to bring that up because that is near and dear to my heart, and I kind of want to see it worked into some storyline.
I would love that.
Write a video game.
Let's. Can we talk to you though about you and your work and your life?
Yeah.
Tell us everything about the middle.
The middle is very excellent. I've recently done an episode, which
Yes.
will be on October 10th.
Tell us everything that happens in the episode. I'm just kidding. I'll get you in a lot of trouble.
But along the lines of like what we were talking about, Amy and Rory, it is something.
Oh, a little romantic, perhaps.
Did you work with Atticus Schaefer?
Yes, but
You
not
did
in this
work-
one, but in previous ones.
You worked with him previously. How awesome is Atticus?
He is so cool.
He
and
plays Brick on the show, right?
Yes, he
Yes.
does, and he voices Edgar in Frankenweenie. And
Oh, great.
I just interviewed him for Frankenweenie, and I was like, "How awesome are you? You're the best thing. I'm taking you home, and we're gonna be best friends."
See, you steal kids. They
That's
don't
where it
steal
comes
kids.
from.
That's
Roth.
why I know it's possible.
You heard it here first, folks. Roth steals kids.
AfterBuzz TV exclusive.
That's how I know it's possible, kids.
I'm loving the sound effects this week.
Kind of awesome.
They're the best.
So this is the second episode of the middle that you shot.
it's the fourth episode.
The fourth epised. So tell us
fourth
about.
episode of the series, but yeah,
Okay,
of the new series. So it's number. Yes, it's out there somewhere.
people can see it. Do you know when your next episode is going to air?
October 10th. That one.
Okay.
So far,
Okay.
that's the only one I've shot. So.
Okay.
Okay.
Exciting. Can you tell us anything? You said it's a little bit of a romance. That's all you're going to give us.
And in terms of like, I mean, like Amy, like we were talking about cameos or whatever. So she's there. I'll put it that way.
Okay.
She's there.
Little mystery. Now, I want to know, what's your favorite episode of Doctor Who? As long as you're here talking to fans, fan to fan.
Well, overall, I have been trying to get into like the classic ones because my mom and dad, they are Doctor Who fans. So it's like family affair, and I've roped my brother into it.
That's awesome.
Nice.
For years, he's like, I'm not going to watch it. I'm going, just sit down. He's going, it's funny. Yes, yes, I'm going to go do a happy fancy dance.
Would it be a dream come true for you to be a companion on Doctor Who? Don't you think that would be a new kind of companion?
Yeah.
You're craving a new kind of companion. Look, let's pitch this right now.
Okay.
BBC, listen up.
Picture, I will. If you see me in Britain, you'll know what I'll be doing.
All right. Done deal.
I will sneak in. No, but favorite one. I do like David Tennant a lot. Just that I don't know, because he was my first ones.
Yeah.
And like
You never forget your first doctor.
I was terrified for years. Like my dad would watch, like he watches scary stuff, so I just walk by, walk away, don't look, don't look. So I never used. I had these terrifying nightmares of this metal thing, and then I watched the Doctor Who going, oh, it's a die. Like why didn't you tell me it was a die? Like if for some reason it scared me then, but if I watched Doctor, I wasn't afraid of it anymore. It's like something about the Doctor made me not afraid. Like the angels, I'm not really afraid of them because of the Doctor.
Gotcha.
Oh, that's kind of amazing.
Because he's there, you're
he's
not
there,
afraid
you're
of
not
him.
afraid.
In fact,
That's
did you guys
awesome.
see there was something on Tumblr? And guys, if you find it, post it on our YouTube page or tweet it to us. But there is a thing where Matt Smith's doing some con, and a guy holds up his daughter, and she asks his little tiny girl, like, "Are you afraid of the weeping angels?" And he looks at her and says, "Are you afraid of the weeping angels?" She nods.
And he's like, don't be afraid.
Yeah, I'm gonna take care of him for you. I forget exactly what he said, but it was the cutest thing
You
ever.
shouldn't be
so
afraid because I'm going to take care of them for you. And it was so cute.
It really,
so
seriously,
sweet.
you saw it. So if you guys see it, just tweet it so we can all
I think
share
it's
it.
just such a
Gosh.
testament to like this character and all of the actors that have played him, that is consistently true, that as the viewer you have that feeling that this really is kind of like a deity in that way.
Yeah.
Like, I'm okay because he's here. Even though we see that's not the case sometimes.
That's true. No. Sometimes no. I do want to, since this is really our last opportunity this is our post-mortem on Amy and Rory.
Yes.
I want to just touch on the relationship one last time. Each of us can go around and just talk about their journey from where they were in the 5th season, where Amy was trying to live out her childhood crush and taking him for granted. And then he waited 2,000 years for her. And then in this last episode, her reaction that she could not go on without him, that he was willing to die for her, so she was willing to die with him. And if he was back in time, she was going to go with him. I just thought was so moving of just how much she loves this man. He insinuated that he had always loved her more than she loved him, and that is not the case. She loves that man.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it was an unbelievable relationship, and I think if you had seen that at the beginning, if you had seen how connected they were at the beginning, it wouldn't have made this kind of impact on the final episode.
Right.
I think that watching her sort of go after the Doctor and I will never forget the line, "Sort me out." That's it cracked me up. But through the wedding, through the relationship, through everything, through him waiting for so many years, it was such a beautiful payoff.
Yeah.
For a relationship that's built so well over these seasons.
And I think that, again, a testament to Stephen Moffat is that he didn't feel rushed in that regard. He let it be what it was, and he trusted that it was going to kind of evolve organically over time in the way that a relationship ought to. And that, look, if the day before you're going to get married, a lot of people have jitters and want to run off and have other experiences, you know? And she gets the opportunity to go with a Time Lord, her childhood crush, and so forth. But I think that she already has been faced once or twice previously of going, who's it going to be, the Doctor or Rory? What's it going to be, this or Rory? And she always, each and every time, knows that she cannot live without Rory, that is her touchstone from childhood on. That this, I mean, listen, a man waits for you for 2,000 years and guards a box.
He's good.
Yeah.
Keep him.
You need to lock it down, ladies. Get a ring on it and you. You know?
Wow.
Wife him.
You better wife him. Yeah, so I think, and I love the glimpses, even though it seemed odd when they were suddenly going to get a divorce, but I did love the Pond's life and those little glimpses of domesticity. And they have grown up so much, and I do like the idea that they have aged 10 years and are really ready, because I think there would have been a piece of heartbreak if we didn't feel like their journey with the Doctor was really complete.
Oh, yeah.
And it is.
Yeah, and they were, you know what? They were in their 30s when they got sent back. That means they got 50 good years.
50 good years.
50 good years together. I just want to go to Twitter real quick.
Also, they could have a kid, you guys, that the Doctor could meet.
Well,
That's
she
true.
said she can't have babies.
She can't. Yeah, she can't have babies after. Well, yeah, that's true. They could adopt
They
a
could
kid.
have adopted a kid.
That the Doctor
that
could
would be
meet.
great. So both Sliverdiver and Watchtower Base both tweeted me the video that we discussed of Matt Smith talking to the little girl. So I just retweeted that. If you look at Matt Lieberman, Lieberman.
I'm going to tweet it as well.
We will
And
tweet it too.
I just got another mention from Sliverdiver. He said, Karen Gillan said that all of the tears that she cried at the end of the episode were real because she was so emotional about leaving the show. I believe it.
You could tell.
You guys can watch the video of the exit of the ponds, and there, Stephen Moffat says he basically knows that actors know organically when they're ready to kind of leave on a high note and when their story is complete. And he said to them, when you guys know, the first minute you know that you're ready to sort of be done, come talk to me so that I can start planning your exit and make sure that it's good. So it was really collaborative.
Yeah.
And then in that last scene, she made sure, she said, no matter what, if they need me on set or not, I'm going to be there to read that letter. I'm going to be right. And she was sitting right beside him. The camera was just on Matt Smith, and she was sitting right beside him, reading the letter to him, and they were both weeping. It's really nice. You guys should watch this.
Yeah, absolutely.
I had a lot of trouble sitting through that letter, by the way. I'm just going to say it, even though, especially with all of you guys around. Last night I was alone in my house watching it, and only the dog saw me, but so, whatever.
Yeah, and I just want to say, with them figuring out what would be the right time for them to leave, they stayed the longest out of any companion in the new series. They were here for 2.5 seasons. It was a hell of a run. We're always going to miss them, but they were definitely a formative part of the show as it continues to transform and change, and I think we will miss them very terribly.
Yes.
Yes.
But we're looking forward to Clara.
Yes. So, do we think it's time
to go into by the way, I have a correction to make, everybody. It is the field of speculation. The field of the zone. Right. I was sitting there yelling at the computer going, what is the zone of speculation?
Not zone, it's
field.
Out here in the field of speculation.
Oh, they're singing.
So this is where we talk about our predictions.
Yes, but we just want to give a warning to people if they don't want to talk about. I feel like
anything we come up with is total speculation, honestly. Like, there is nothing, because we really don't know. And that is something I just wanted to mention, because I don't know how people, first of all, managed to keep Oswin a secret.
Yeah.
I don't know how everything that happened in this episode, even though it was filmed in the middle of New York, was kept a secret.
There were 800 people. They said there were 800 people there. And so she's having to whisper to him. Whisper the letter to him, so that nobody hears.
Yeah, this is huge that they've been able to do this, and I think it's absolutely brilliant in this land of spoilers. So I don't have the slightest idea what's going to happen.
Yeah,
I would love to predict something, but honestly, every time I do, I'm sort of surprised by how even more awesome it is than anything I could have come up with.
That's true.
So I'm just open to whatever they do. I don't know if her name is Clara or Oswin, if they're leading us down a path or what. Clauswin. You can call her that.
Clauswin.
I'm just sad that it's not until Christmas.
Yeah.
So what do you? But since we're here anyways,
yeah.
Just really quickly, what do you think Clara or Clauswin is going to be? Or who?
Well, we need someone for, like, how River was with the Doctor, someone to keep him in place so he doesn't go off on that track.
Yeah.
No, only one psychopath per TARDIS.
Yeah. So, even when Donna said to keep him on there so he doesn't feel sad and then start getting depressed and moody. But I kind of have a feeling
nobody needs a grumpy deity.
No. No. And when they were talking about, the death of Doctor Who, the final question, and then when he takes River somewhere before she dies, she might be a part of that somehow to keep him steady and just there and just slap you a little bit.
Yeah.
There could be slapping.
I like the slapping.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I'm good with the slapping.
Totally okay with that.
Doctor needs a slap every now and then.
Hey, listen, I know, and I don't think that this is where we're headed quite this time, but I still say that there is a downloadable River somewhere that could be downloaded.
We talked about that.
That could be downloaded into anything.
Into
a new body.
Brought back later in the season. Yeah. We talked about that last week.
Yeah.
And she is talking about how she's not happy with the aging.
Yeah. Oh, by the way,
that's true.
Silver Diver said there could be a spin-off with Amy and Rory fighting aliens in the 30s
without the Doctor.
Without the Doctor. Okay.
Yeah.
That'd be kind of awesome.
Their version of Torchwood, except it's
it's in the 30s with noir and hats and cigarettes.
It's like the Thin Man.
Yeah, it's like
totally
the Thin Man. The Doctor. That is awesome. Pitching it now.
Yeah.
Do it.
I want some fan art, okay?
I want the show.
Yeah.
All right, so what do you think about Clauswin?
I think that there's a few different ways that she could come about. We've talked about the nano cloud potentially being in the TARDIS. We have talked about her being an ancestor of Oswin. I honestly don't know. And for once, I'm just going to keep my big mouth shut and I'm just gonna let it happen because, like Jenna just said, it's going to be great. Whatever it is, we're gonna buy it, hook, line, and sinker. Like if this episode is any indication, Stephen Moffat is at the height of his powers, and he's got something very cool planned for us. We're gonna find out within the opening moments of the Christmas special how she comes to be. I just hope. Honestly, I want her to be an alien. I want her to be an alien. I want her to be someone who was not raised on Earth. I want her to be so completely removed from what we think of as a companion, or be a computer. I don't know. Be a consciousness in a body. Be a tesseract.
Be a Dalek. Be part Dalek.
Yeah, why not?
I want her to be part Dalek.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I love it. All right, guys, so thank you so much for joining us. Make sure you come back next week because we are going to start our classic Who episodes.
Yes.
And make sure you vote for which ones you want to see on YouTube. Subscribe, rate us, well, please.
Be sure to watch The Caves of Androzani on Netflix.
Yes, so you can join in the discussion, and we will make sure to have 50% more or less references.
It's true. All right, guys, so you can follow me on Twitter. First, you can follow AfterBuzz TV at AfterBuzz TV. You can follow me at Jenna Busch, B-U-S-C-H, like the beer, not the president.
You can follow me at JROTHC, that's JROTHC, and you should do so.
And you can follow me at Matt Lieberman, MattLieberman.
And you can follow me at Katlin Mastrandrea, KATLIN-MASTANDRE. No A.
All right, great.
All right, thanks so much, you guys.
Guys, rock.
From Bing.com, executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later!
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.